Yeah.
All right, so that's the behind the scenes fucking BTS behind the scenes. This is the backstory on who this band is. So the reason why I'm bringing them up is I guess their management company or the label they're signed to is investing a lot of like millions and millions of dollars into this AI technology that would essentially be able to produce their voices and make music. So essentially, like, God forbid they all were wiped off the play, like, whoever, like, you know, they can make Pop Smoke, you know, songs in the future if this ends up working, right? So your thoughts on the idea of like cloned music being out there from your favorite artists who are no longer actually present and alive? Like if we had an actual new Tupac album of like things that were, you know, programmed and made to sound just like him, but you know he never wrote it, had nothing to do with it besides a computer taking his voice and generically making that in like a laboratory.
I can speak from a hip hop standpoint mostly, and I'm not cool with it because I mean the music, obviously a lot of it has to, why we like it is because they're speaking on experience and like they're telling their stories. So to me it's weird to like, I don't want to hear Tupac talk about like Bitcoin and shit. Like it's just doesn't make sense, and I'm sure he wouldn't like that. And even if we gave the power to like the estate and his family to do it, like I think it'll just get out of hand. People would be selfish and want to monetize the deceased, and it just wouldn't sit well with me. Maybe if it's like a BTS thing where they're just singing love songs and there's not like a backstory to it, I could see how maybe that could be cool for the fans. But again, it's just, I think music's too personal to kind of just capitalize on it forever. It just seems weird to me.
So then what do you, I agree with that 100%. Like I would feel very fucking weird, bro. And I don't think, there's a lot of Mac Miller fans out there. I'm definitely like fucking top 1%. Bro, like the idea of a new Mac album because like a computer can fucking generate his voice and then, you know, someone wrote, dude, that just sounds awful to me, bro. Like I want to envision the artist going through the pain, the struggle, the happiness, the joy, and then, yo, let me put this on a piece of paper and then figure out, you know, what strums and chords and beats go with this in a fucking melodic way for my fans to appreciate. So removing that from the equation, I'm like, bro, would I even listen to it? So your thoughts on the idea of like, why would any company create this kind of product? Like, what's the logic behind it, do you think?
I think they're just greedy and selfish. They know like if they could do this, they could just automate it to a point where, you know, all right, these boys, you know, are human, so they can only pump out 2 tracks a night. So, but if we do this shit, we can pump out 100 a night and just like have the algorithms be melodical. Because I mean, music, I guess I don't know much about music theory, but I'm sure there's like a whole math and science to it to like, you know, obviously these notes have to go together to produce a pleasant sound.
Oh, 100%, bro. I think it was an episode of Hot Ones. Shout out to Hot Ones on Complex. I think John Mayer's episode. And like, he wasn't like giving like Post Malone subtle jabs, but he was like, bro, like, you can play all your songs at this fucking level, like a chord level, like he specifically mentioned, and everything's gonna sound good. You know what I mean? Like, like it's a guaranteed hit. Now again, it's on the artist to like have the right lyrics and all that shit to make sense. But like, yeah, 100%, bro. There has to be an algorithm, like the same way of like with baseball. Like we know if we get a hitter who hits this percentage on this, like we know it's gonna be a good player. Like they know what's gonna be a fucking hit at this point, bro. There's just too much data that will, you know, if they didn't know, they'd be fucking up huge.
Yeah. And I think they realized that people, at the end of the people don't even care about like necessarily the artist or the lyrics. They just want the beat, the hot beat and the sound, the melody. And I'm sure these companies are like, yo, we could pump this out at greater levels and they don't even have to pay the fucking artist.
That's what I was thinking, bro. That's where my head was going now. I'm like, is this a way to long-term pay these artists less? Like, kind of to our previous conversation, sign them to fucking contracts, hide that shit in the fine print, and then really just find the artists, monetize them, and then keep them around, but like you're not paying them as much because, yo, we're creating the music, we have the computers to create your voice. So essentially, yo, we own everything, bro. Like, that's really owning someone's masters. Like, bro, we can just keep making music without you. So shut the fuck up and take this check, or you're done.
Yep. And some artists might find that appealing because maybe they don't want to tour and do all this extra shit. They just want to collect a few $100 per month, or maybe a few thousand, as opposed to, you know, tens of thousands per month. And they're just like, yo, let's get these desperate people to produce this unique sound, and then we'll handle the rest. And all of a sudden you're in the matrix.
Damn, I wonder if that's the long-term play, bro. Yeah, like, that makes sense more to me. Like, they're just trying to figure out ways that, dude, why are we paying Justin Bieber millions of dollars a year when we can just, like, find the next Bieber, sign him to a contract for life, and just, you know, we'll pump out the music and he just needs to fucking play his role, kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah. It's the
Interesting.
dark but inevitable future, probably.
It might be, though. Like, it's like the thing with, like, I mean, it's music can only stay out of what the world is for so long, right? Like, how many people are losing their jobs to AI? Like, I feel like not everyone is inevitably gonna always be safe, right? You would think that, I feel like in a perfect world, like, yeah, like, you know, like, people need, the world needs humans to be decision makers, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, a lot of people are losing their jobs to technology. Like, you would think music would be affected at some point, and I guess this is the extreme of the artists eventually being, you know, affected as well.
Yeah. The only element I don't know if they could ever find a replacement for is, for anything AI related, is I feel like there's always, in most cases, going to be some human component that you just can't do away with. So, like, just thinking about, like, Pop Smoke or Mac Miller, like, yes, they make dope music, but, like, you also are attracted to just the story behind the person.
The persona. Yeah, the persona. Yeah, like, you're losing the persona. Like, if it's like, and again, that's just gonna get out. Like, if it's just a fucking computer just pumping this shit out. Dude, but all it takes is that fucking one computer to come out with that fucking fire heat, and we're like,
yeah,
this ain't bad. This ain't bad.
Yeah. It'll be like Daft Punk, but, like, more anonymous in a way.
Yeah. Speaking of Daft Punk, dude, their numbers went through the roof last week, bro. Like, their streaming numbers. Bro.
Spotify put them on the new Music Friday. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This shit's been.
Dude, they haven't had a song
like 100 years. Yeah,
that's funny, bro. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully these clones don't take over. And then just like a funny comedy fucking topic real quick before we hop into Heat of the Week and get out of here. Dude, remember, like, back in the day when Gucci got out of jail and he was skinny and in shape, and, like, you couldn't really see his ice cream tattoo anymore, and, like, his melodies a little bit different. Everyone's like, yo, is that a clone? Is that really Gucci Mane? Like, they clone his ass in jail? This is a fake Gucci Mane? There's a world of clones out there? And I guess everyone is doing a similar thing to Kodak Black now, because he's a little bit skinnier. He's saying he sounds a little bit different. He's moving a little bit different now that apparently he's a clone, and, like, people are trolling him online. So your thoughts on just, like, that idiotic logic of there being a clone of people out there, and once we get tired of one, we can just clone them and just, you know, keep moving.
I think people are, at first I thought it was just a joke, but based on what I see online, a lot of people do believe this whole clone thing. And I think people fail to realize that, like, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're on drugs and all that 24/7, like, your physical appearance and attitude will change. And then when they see them coming out, like, skinnier and cleaner looking and stuff, people just assume it's a whole different person.
And, like, clearer thoughts. Like, you know what I mean? He's not, like, just fucking being, not retarded, but, like, just not sounding well. You know what I mean? Like, like, I feel like back in the day, especially Gucci Mane, bro, he was always fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, always fat, like, fat, bro. Like, it's just, like, they were just so thrown off. Like, yo, wait, what, you have a six-pack now? Like, what the fuck is going on? This is not you.
Right. And it's not like they were in jail for 2 weeks and came out, like, completely replenished and brand new. Like, I forget how long Gucci was in jail, but he and Kodak have been in it since as long as I can remember.
Right.
And with all that free time, obviously no access to toxic chemicals and shit like that.
Besides Twitter.
Yeah, besides Twitter, you're gonna be healthy. So you just gotta realize not, like, people can change Like, you're not just destined to be the same forever.
So then your thoughts on Kodak Black responding to it and saying like he was legit like annoyed by this? Like, yo, stop saying this shit, it's me, blah blah blah. Your thoughts on that?
I didn't realize he was legit annoyed, but again, I could see why he would be upset. It's kind of like people saying, you know what, like he was just always this bummy addict who wasn't capable of forming a sentence, and then he comes out like brand new and he's like, yo, you guys, that's how much faith you had in me, like this whole time. So I could see him getting pissed off with that kind of logic.
That's funny. That's funny.